Welcome back to Streamline Entertainment. It's Marvin speaking. We're just going to go through some of the private messages. This one's from Alison, who confirmed, "Good evening, Marvin. Hope you are well." Obviously, this message was actually sent on the 1st. After a busy weekend, I am actually going through them now and put them up as on video. Hope you are well. Just came across this little video on YouTube that states everything is closed on the Monday at Masca. If that's the case, how did Ayub and Co. call at the shop for drinks and snacks if all the shops are closed on a Monday? Anyway, take care of yourself and see what you think. Let's have a little look into this. It does look absolutely stunning, Playa de Masca, doesn't it? Interesting, very, very interesting, because like I said, we know that we cannot believe basically anything Ayub says. It just makes you actually just think of, what the hell's going on and how these people are believing, how the police let them get away technically with murder.
This little village on top of the mountains is called Masca, and if you're ever planning to visit, here's a few things I wish I would have known before going. Firstly, the roads are absolutely insane. When you first are going up the mountain, it's not at all bad until you get closer to the actual mountain. It's only essentially a one lane, so make sure you have a small car and you drive very carefully. I would even suggest...
And there was said that he was doing high speeds going up here. It just doesn't make sense to me. It really, really doesn't. I mean, you could easily have an accident. Even if you know those roads, it's still dangerous, especially, in the early hours of the morning.
Doing what we did and going on Monday where everything in the village is closed. So there's less people, less traffic, and more parking opportunities there. As you ascend up the mountain, there's a lot of cool spots to park and enjoy the view.
Wow, you can see how tight you are, like cars passing each other as well. You'd be forced to go slow, really forced. And obviously, the heights that these, roads actually go up to are absolutely incredible. You'd have to be super careful. And like this gentleman said, there are no shops open, and he wished that they absolute cafes. And maybe, like I said, it must be a day off for everyone having Monday off. But like I said, Ayub saying he stopped off at a shop, I just think it could be another blag.
All these clips are not even Masca yet, they're just along the route. This is where we parked in Masca, and it was a small parking lot, so you definitely will have to wait for parking if there is none. I think lastly, if you're scared of heights, this place is probably not for you, but I mean, look at the views. I think it's so worth it. If you've never visited and you're on Tenerife, I would recommend visiting this little village.
What you can see is, well, it looks pretty treacherous if you're looking to go off-road as well, especially in shorts, as they say Jay did, which obviously we don't believe. But I think as well, even if you had a bit of an accident and you went off road a little bit, I'm sure you could shout, and someone would be able to hear you. Obviously, what you can remember, there's houses around some of this area as well. Just off the mountains. So you, for me personally, you're guaranteed to bump into someone if you got into difficulties, because there's so many holiday makers up there. Seems like just a very, very, very odd place. No running water, cold water, strange. And obviously, people have done videos of what's inside. I've done a couple myself, and it's not a place you want to stay. It just looks a bit scary, haunting. Yeah, so that was it, people. Like I said, Ayub again, giving us a narrative, and I would love to know which shop basically he stopped at, because I don't think it was anywhere near Masker Village, or basically Jay going off to buy cigarettes or going to get some scram. It just, obviously doesn't make sense to me. But like I said, let me know what you think, people. Thank you. So we move on to another private message, reference to 11:11. This person says, true crime, the beach where the shady video was shown, Lucy shouting OJ, is in Los Cristianos, 40-minute walk or 10 minutes by car. If this video is correct and not a fake, then Jay could not have been stabbed outside the rave club. That's just my opinion, or am I wrong? Gosh, what is true and what not in this case? Regards. Yeah, I totally agree. It's anything you look into this into this case, you've just got to look at what it means and what it doesn't mean. There's so many difficulties in this case to actually prove anything. You're right, but there's a possibility. Some people think he did get hurt outside the club. Some people think he got stabbed on the beach. He may have been stabbed twice. We don't know at the end of the day, but there's a possibility of that. So someone has sent a couple of pictures of apparently Ayub before getting his teeth done. Is that a young Brandon behind him? Also check out the page on TikTok, name Gospel. Wow. Let me just get this picture up, people. Just bear with me 1 second. So we've got Brandon there, what he looks like now, but interesting what this person has said. I mean, is that Brandon? Could be in the background. There. A lot younger. It certainly makes you think. And obviously, this person says that this is before like Ayub had got his teeth done. That's a possibility. That could, it's not clear, the photo, but it could be Brandon behind him. So there's a possibility they go way back when. Let me know what you think, people. Interesting. There are a couple of articles. This is interesting. Thank you for Aspire Higher, a new YouTube channel who sent me these. Burnley schoolboy praised for helping the homeless. Brandon Hodgson. God, look how innocent and young he looks there, eh? A kind-hearted Burnley schoolboy has been praised by school for helping to give homeless people a better chance in life. Wow. For the past few weeks, 9-year-old Brandon Hodgson has been helping his mum Natalie give food, clothing and advice to homeless people. An internet campaign has seen dozens of volunteers give up their time to provide vital supplies to people living on the streets of East Lancashire. And Brandon was so moved by the plight, he got involved, even visiting soup kitchens. Now he has received a certificate from teachers in Celebratory Assembly at St John the Baptist Roman Catholic Primary School in Thames Avenue. I'd imagine that was probably a good school to go to. Head teacher Kieran Heekin told the children how proud the school was of the caring student. Kerry Stannard, class teacher, said Brandon has a lot of friends and enjoys all aspects of school life. He has a really caring side. He's a popular pupil and works hard. So obviously there's something that tells me, you know, he's not a stupid lad, do you know what I mean? And probably has got involved in people, you know, in meeting people like Lucy, who've probably sent him, you know, down the wrong avenue, should I say. For a year 5 student, especially, it's great. He's really proud of himself for doing it. Brandon said it helped because it's unfair. They just get abandoned. One of them, Brian, be living in a car park and he had to keep all his belongings in a bin where it also rots down. Horrible. With the help of his proud mum, Natalie, 35 at the time, Brandon pledged to help the two men, Brian and Tyrone. He said Brian got shut out because he had a business partner who ripped him off and took all his money. He didn't have enough money to pay for the bills or the heating. Tyrone got thrown out because he did not get on with his family. He moved in with his maid and had to get out there because it was not safe. Natalie said I'm an inspiration and he wanted to come and help me the next time. Brandon and his mum joined the mobile soup kitchen to hand out essentials to the cold and hungry and put Tyrone in touch with the M&S project, which found him a new home. Brandon said we're close to getting Brian a house too. Interesting, that is the end of the article. So, it's, you know, I think obviously the question we're asking is there still good in this kid, you know? Because like I said, it's, you know, it's just such a shame that these children can meet bad people and go around avenues, and older, basically drug dealers, abuse these young people to get them to do whatever, and it's pretty sad. Interesting. So we now move on to a article. Brandon Hodgson, Burnley robbed at knife point for £2,000 cube bike. Obviously, he was 15-year-old boy, was traumatized after he was robbed at knife point for his bike. A man came up behind Brandon Hodgson and threatened him with a knife on a side of a road in the grounds of Burnley General Hospital near Eber Street on Friday at 7:40 p.m. His father, Andrew Hodgson, said his son, fearing his safety, handed over his bike to the man, who then left, leaving his son and his friend very shaken up. The 40-year-old said that Cube's mountain bike had full suspension and is black with yellow markings and is worth more than £2,000. Mr. Hodgson said, my son was scared and feared being stabbed during the robbery, and he is still in shock due to the violence of being threatened with a knife. Sometimes it seems like that area, some of the boys, even that age, 13, 14, 15, are into stealing stuff, threatening people and using knives. And, that was, quite a, 2015. That's really, really horrible. Mr. Hodgson says, my son was scared and feared being stabbed during the robbery and is still in shock due to the violence of being threatened with a knife. He said that the blade looked like a pocket knife. I am upset that the bike had been stolen, but thankfully my son is safe and not injured. He could have been stabbed if he'd resisted. A person who carries a knife may think they have no intention of using it, but self-control is a lot in these situations and innocent victims. My son is so shocked and struggling to come to terms with what happened. He said that he said that we were hearing reports all the time with regards to knife crime, but it never seemed real. I never considered myself a risk. Mr. Hodgson said they called the police and they have been told officers are looking into the incident. Cube mounted bikes are high performance trail bikes and can be used off-road biking, often over harsh and difficult terrain. Mr. Hodgson said that there are CCTV cameras in the area of the attack and I want to get the bike back, but I want the person identified I caught more than anything. Yeah, definitely. There are loads of CCTV cameras where it happened. I've spoken to the hospital and they inform me the police need to contact them to view this CCTV. The public need to be made aware of this for their own safety, as the knife might be used if the person does this again. Very, very true. A police spokesman said this has been reported to us and is under investigation. Call us on 101, quoting the incident reference 1310 of October the 4th. Obviously, this was some time ago, this article, but I think 10th of the October 2019, what we're talking about now, 5 years ago, just over 5 years ago. It's unbelievable how the time goes. I did see this article before, and someone asked me to put it back out there again, which is good. The final part we're going to move on to is a message from someone who really supports me on this case, David. And he goes on to say, thanks, Marvin. Is the Joe 1987 plus writer stuff BS? Or is it the root and cause of the bad Lancashire blood going down? It's about that. Which tunnel is worth digging? It gets deeper, but Ritas is being linked to Brandon, and I sent a link to Jack World Entertainment when he is asked about the video. It's your BK in Ibiza. Interesting. Well, what I think is, I do think this writers has some serious connections, and I think he's something to do with the Irish mafia as well, and it's got contacts in Lancashire. I do believe that he's linked to Brandon in some way, but I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know enough about Ritas. His name's been brought up in private messages, but I heard technically he's dodgy as everybody else that have been mentioned basically in this case that had something to do with Jay, disappearance. So I do think this person needs to be looked into a little bit more. So that's a lot of the private messages. Once again, thank you very much, and thank you for the people who actually sent in. If any more comes through, I'll keep putting them out through the week. Thank you. Take care wherever you are in the world, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you.